Just some other things that I want to tell you before we start is the reason we prefer angustifolia for therapeutic use is the high acetate, and also that it has really low camphor and borneol. Those two substances are in the lavender, which is very interesting because lavender is more stimulating, whereas this is more sedating. And you know how you always hear, lavender for stress, lavender to calm you down. If somebody uses lavender not knowing that is not exactly the therapeutic variety, they may actually be stimulated by that. And I have had people say to me, oh, lavender, it doesn't work. And when we've talked further about it, it's obvious that they've in fact used the lavender, which is the Lavandula intermedia Erika was talking about. Why they bred that in France was that in the 30s and 40s, angustifolia in the wild actually started diminishing. And they're not sure why it happened. They thought there was a couple of reasons. Broom started encroaching on the area, and broom started encroaching because a lot of the wild goats and wild sheep in the Alps in France had been culled out. So sort of the natural ecosystem that allowed wild lavender to flourish got altered, the lavender diminished. So they started looking at, and also expanding where they could grow it. So as Erika said, they developed this hybrid, which is the lavender, which is the intermedia.
It's a natural hybrid, but they've cultivated that hybrid because it does naturally hybridize at about between 500 to 1,000 feet. The latifolia from the lower elevations and the angustifolia actually naturally hybridize. And it's kind of funny, they talk about it as the French love story because they talk about latifolia as the male lavender and angustifolia as the female, and they met and fell in love and had babies, and that's
intermedia.
So
it's a good way to remember it.
Yeah, and all of the old distillers in France talk about it. It's really cute. But it's a much higher yield of oil, and so it's used a lot for farming. It's used a lot for the lavender that you find in industrial products, so in shampoos, the intermedia, and it isn't as susceptible to the root rot, and that was what killed out a lot of the lavender, and it's less susceptible. So they each have their place. They're great. I mean, we couldn't create all the lavender products if we were simply using the angustifolia. It's too expensive. But keep in mind that it's about 40% camphor, whereas true lavender has about 0.04 to 0.4% camphor, so it's a really different oil, so just keep that in mind.
The other interesting thing about lavender is the cell that actually has the essential oil on it is almost suspended on a slight stalk, and it's this really, and looking at it on a macro level, it's this really big bubble of oil. So when we harvest this, we don't want to damage that cell, so we handle it fairly gently.
Yeah, we don't want to cram the flowers into a...
Harvesting is a very important part of essential oil production. So not just the time you harvest, but actually how you harvest and how you handle it. And we do have a wonderful close-up photograph of that cell to take a look at back in the classroom. And as you know, we're making a video today as well. Do not be shy about asking questions. Please ask any questions. Stop us anytime and ask questions. Good question. If you want to dry lavender, do you pick it at the same time? Yes, you do, because again, you're going to get the most fragrance at this time. And when you pick it for drying, pick it with a nice sized stem and just hang it upside down. Tie it and hang it upside down.
And don't do too big bunches because you can get some mildewing. So do slightly smaller bunches for drying and hang it upside down. Somewhere with decent airflow but not too much heat. We should get started because it is getting cold.
So I brought some equipment to cut. We probably don't need the gloves today. We were harvesting rosemary last week and we needed gloves. What I like to do is, get down to the level of the plant, and you're just going to cut not too far down.
The general rule is you want to leave about 2 to 3 inches of growth. So you'll see how there's like a woody stem and then the green or the sort of grey-green leaves come out. So you can leave about 2 to 3 inches is a good rule. And you can gather it together and cut it off straight across.
Yes.
Some of these plants were a little bit affected by the cold that we've had, so they've kind of collapsed a little bit. We've had some die off.
I know, honey.
You look over at that plant over there. Lavender is pretty hardy on this zone, but this winter we had was just extreme. We had snow here on the ground that was completely up to the level of the door. It was just ridiculous. So, and that was on the ground for 3 weeks. So, you know, it's like pretty hard going for most plants to deal with that kind of.
In France, the way you'll see people harvest is with a sickle, and they'll just pick the whole plant up, and they'll just pull a sickle through it. So the other way you can do it, because we don't have any sickles, although we do at our summer school in Greece, we learn how to harvest with a sickle, and we go out harvesting in the wild. But you can just, as Erika said, pick up a bundle like this and chop it. That's another way to do it. So
we're bringing some scissors out. So
we're bringing scissors. Put it gently into your bag. Don't just drop it. Put it gently.
It helps if it's all laying the same way. That'll help us pack the still most effectively.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
So just have it all laying that same direction.
Okay, so who wants to start?
One more, and then we've got. You want to go?
Here's a bag.
They're going to bring more scissors out. So. This is all well, but start clipping.
Just start clipping.
You want to leave? You just want to take a group out of each bunch?
No, I'm taking all the flowers off every plant.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I just did that as an example.
That's a great.
So there's a bag. Yes, that is a good question. Do I want to take all the flowers off the plant or just some? That was the question, and we are actually harvesting the entire plant today because we do want to really get a good yield of oil. When you're thirsty, I made some iced herb tea, and there's iced water with lemon balm and mint inside. So if everyone can just stop and look at the plant Erika just cut as a really good example of how low to cut and how to leave sort of a nice even shape.
I'm not quite done. We will come along and shape it.
Yeah, we will come and shape with the clippers, but
it can go down quite a way.
The question was, when we cut the lavender this far down, will it come up and bloom again this season? And it very well may.
This variety will bloom again. It probably won't have as high yield of essential oil the second time, but it still will have some. And yeah, you can get 2 crops out of it. And this climate.
Your oyster shells that you use to get calcium onto the other
They come from the coast, from the Oregon coast.
So you just gather them yourself on the beach?
No, you're not allowed to.
A place like in Rockaway, Tillamook.
Lavender did you put in your vodka?
I only put like 2 stalks.
Wow.
And it's so powerful.
Wow.
So you have to kind of taste it.
Yes.
You know?
Do you want to try doing it?
And we were going to leave it in. We thought it would be really pretty, you know.
Do it right down there, where my hand is, right?
But it was so
Too strong. Oh, good job. Further down, down here. Down there, see where the leaf is. See where I'm pointing? There. Good job. Good job. Okay, I'm going to pick up a bunch here and I want you to cut it there. Oh, you're an expert lavender harvester. Look at you go. That takes a lot of strength. Have you got it? Try again. Oh, good job. Okay, let's try this one. Wait. No, not there. We've got to get ready. We've got to prepare. There. No, here, honey. Good job. Would you like to put that in the bag for me? Thank you. Look, show Mummy. You picked that. Show Mummy.